movie, yep. Alright, because now I'm going to show you guys how to make the fins on the rocket. Okay, so you need the bottle. Which way is the rocket going to go? Please stop. It's going to go up. The stuff's going to shoot out of the bottom, so the fins have to go on the part with the opening. You lay it on a piece of cardboard, or a piece of paper works better because it doesn't have any lines. Lay it on a piece of paper like this. Put the pencil straight down, and you're tracing the contours of the bottle. Each bottle is a little different. Then you draw yourself a fin. You come back up, and now you have a fin template that is going to perfectly match the contours of the bottle. You cut that out, you put it on your cardboard, and you cut it out, and then you have a fin that matches perfectly the contours of the bottle. You want to test your template first using paper, because once you make it out of, it's much harder to make it out of cardboard. Okay. Here's my template, and then look, it fits the bottle perfectly. All right, here. I'll put this up so you guys can see it on the big screen. There it is. All right. So there it is, fits the bottle perfectly. You can have 3 or 4 fins. If you do it, I did these with plastic and I didn't cut this edge right here. So that's why they're 3-dimensional and they're hollow and they're shaped like a wing. I also put a little bit of a spin on a bend at the end, and that way when my rocket goes up, the air hits it and it spins, makes it a little more stable in the air. Thanks for looking up front. Thanks. And that's how you make the bottom part of your rocket. The other parts, this part's really easy. You just cut a bottle and shove it on there, right? You guys saw this comes off to adjust. So this part is just a collar. It's just a piece. It's just the middle of the bottle, and it slips on the end. So that's going to hold your parachute. Parachute goes in there. The capsule is also easy. It's just the top of the bottle and the bottom of the bottle. You cut the top and the bottom off. You shove them together, tape it, put a tennis ball in there. One minute. Where'd my scotch tape go? There it is. Hang on a second, guys. All right. So when you're going to tape this is going to be made out of cardboard. You're going to put it on your bottle. You're going to use really small pieces of tape. You're going to use duct tape or see-through tape. First, you tape on one half. Make sure it's lined up perfectly. And then these small pieces of tape work much better. And it helps to have 2 people. One person holding it on, and one person taping. Okay, and so you want to make sure that the fin is perfectly lined up so it's nice and straight. Then, so you want to make marks. You can use a Sharpie and make marks on your bottle on 4 locations or on 3 locations. 3 locations is harder because you have to figure out what's a third of the way around the bottle, right? All right, let's move on to the parachute. This is a full-size parachute. It's a circle. How are you going to draw a big circle that's 2 feet in diameter? You're going to use a compass. Compass isn't for navigating, but also we call a compass when you have a string attached to a pin. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to make a dot in the middle of the piece of paper. Then I'm going to go make the string half the distance from the center. And I'm going to use it to draw a circle. Of course, when you guys are doing the parachute, it's not going to be this big. it's going to be twice this big. Yeah, what's up?
Do we have like an actual compass? Can we use that too? Like,
No, because it's not big enough. Okay, once you have a circle, now that's going to be on a piece of plastic 2 feet in diameter, right? So that's a great question. Can you use a regular compass? Well, if you have one that, you can make one in wood shop that'll do it on really long pieces of wood, but it's easier just to have a piece of string on a Sharpie, and I'll provide that for you. Okay, so then how are you going to know where to put the 8 strings? Remember, you have to have 8 strings on your parachute, not 4, not 6, not 28. How can I make this into 8s? Jake in the front row.
You divide in half, and then you divide into fourths.
You mean by how are you doing it?
You put a line through the middle.
Okay, that's one way. How about we just fold it in half?
That could also work.
Fold it in half, and then you got one dot right here. One dot right here. That's 2 strings. Fold it in half again. Now remember, your parachute's going to be 2 feet wide. Now right there is where the other dots are going to go. So you put a dot right here. Open it up. Put a dot right there. Now when you open it up, you've got 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can eyeball the other 4. Just say halfway in between. Halfway in between here and here. If you want to get fancy and use math, you can. Okay? You can do degrees.
Mr. Jackson, this is science, not math.
I like to say that math is the handmaiden of science.
Same.
Why did you know why Einstein created calculus?
Why?
Because he needed it to solve his science problems, his physics problems. Do you know why the Egyptians invented trigonometry?
So they could build pyramids.
Good, but also because they had issues with land, splitting up the land and their irrigation problems. And so each time we need to solve a new social or math or a social or science problem, we come up with a different type of math. So now you can see I have 8 dots on here. Then I take a piece of tape 1 inch long, 3 centimeters approximately. I put half of it over the top and half of it folds across. Okay? Then don't use the scissors, you have to use a sharp pencil or a pen. Please look up front. Thank you. Halfway across. And so now I'm putting a piece of tape on each one of the dots. Why do I do that?
So you could string through it.
To make it more string. Yep. Why not just put the string straight through the plastic?
Because then it'll keep ripping.
Because it's going to keep ripping. You need it really tough. You need to make it durable. So I put the string across there. Boom, 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 boom. And there we go. Okay. Oops. And then I take a sharp pencil and I poke a hole through right on the dot. Okay? Take the sharp pencil, tore the paper. Take the sharp pencil, poke through the dot, and now I have a hole for my string. Now, when you get string, only get 4 pieces at once. Hey guys, this is important. Only get 4 pieces at once. Each one's going to be a meter. If you get 8 pieces all at once, you're going to have a huge knot on your hands. Okay? And you don't want that. So then you're going to get the 8 pieces of string. How long is each piece of string going to be?
A yard.
A yard or a meter. Since we're in science class, will be a meter. Okay? Then your parachute, when it's finished, is going to look like this. Notice I folded it to fold the parachute. Just make sure all the holes are the same length apart. But before you tie a knot, don't tie a knot in your string until you show it to me to inspect it, until you test it. testing it out. It should go like this. Should look like a sea jelly, formerly known as a jellyfish. But it ain't made out of jelly and it ain't a fish, so they changed the name. Kept the jelly part though, because it does look like jelly. Alright, and then you're all good.
Could I?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Alright.